Hey guys, Brian here with the Seat Shop. Today we're going to do an install on a Dodge Ram, the cloth, the SLT cloth edition. It's going to be for the regular cab, quad cab, mega cab, for 1,500, 2,500, 3,500, all the way up. So this will work for the 1,500 trucks from 2006 through 2008. And for the heavy duty trucks, you're going to run from 2006 all the way through 2009. So there's two different colors. You have the gray and the tan. So they have khaki and medium slate are the name of the colors, actual names, but we're going to go ahead and show you how to strip this down, take the covers off, and be able to put the new covers on. So one of the tricky things, I say tricky, one of the things a little bit different on the Dodge seats on pulling them out of the truck, because most of them are going to be the 40-20-40 front bench seats. You're going to have three separate seats, okay? But they're all bolted together. So the 20 portion that sits in the middle, where you can, a third person could ride in the center, and you can flip it up, where a third person rider, you can fold it down, and there's an armrest. That whole piece bolts on, as you can see on this, the bracketry that's here. That 20 portion bolts on to this. So you can't just unbolt the driver's seat and pull it out by itself. You've got to unbolt, even if you're just doing the driver's side, you need to unbolt the driver and passenger side from the floorboard. Then you can tilt the seats back, just lean them back towards the second row, and then you can undo the nuts that are holding onto the 20 portion jump seat, so then you can remove just the driver's seat. Most all the other trucks, Ford, Chevy, there's four individual bolts to pull the driver's seat out, pull it out. But the Ram, you have to undo all the bolts, driver and passenger side, and then be able to tilt it back so you can get to these a lot easier. To release it from the 20 portion, then you can take the driver's seat out. So we got the driver's seat here. This was originally a tan frame. That's why the trim pieces are tan, but we got some the gray covers on it right now. So we're going to go and walk you through taking this apart and then reinstalling it. So there's not too many specialty tools for this. Just mainly a bunch of screwdrivers, Phillips head, flathead. Pretty much it. I think there's a Torx as well. So we're going to start taking this apart. So we've got right here, we've got a little Phillips head screw that goes right here. There's a Phillips head inside of here, and then there's a Phillips on the front and the back of this plastic panel as well. So I'm gonna start taking, let's see, the drill on it. There's a couple different sizes of screws. They're using this one. There's a longer Phillips right here. The longer Phillips goes in this little plastic piece here, and there's another one on this other side too. So the longer piece there, and then the one for the recline lever is a whole lot bigger screw. But you can kind of just pay attention to where you're pulling them apart, which ones go back where, so you don't put the wrong size in something. But we'll set these over here. Let's look at the front one. Okay, so there's a Phillips right up here on the front. Okay. Another one on the back side. So let's lift this little carpet flap up, and there's a Phillips right there. Okay. All right, now I'm going to pull kind of up and out. Let's see. Oh, there's another screw. I forgot. Once I had the recline lever off, there's another Phillips head right through there. Okay, now the sucker will come off. Okay, so this will mainly lift up. There's three tabs right here. These are hooks, okay? So they hook over this metal bar. So they push up when you come up above it, and then they push down to hook onto it. So lift up, and then you can pull it out. And then I'll pull this piece off. We'll set our screws to the side. Okay, we're going to flip it to the other side here. And there's two Phillips on this one as well. So we got a Phillips screw here, and then there's another Phillips screw right down here. Okay. There's that one. And it should have another one on the back underneath that carpet flap as well. Okay. Now this piece will just lift off. Okay, so now we got all the clips off, all the panels off, so now we're going to undo the clips of the cover. Okay, so we're going to lean the seat back and take these little guys off. So now there's going to be a bunch of just plastic J-clips that wrap around the frame and hook on. So across the front, we got 2 spots here, and then down the side there's some clips here on the other side. So we're just going to take a flathead screwdriver, come in right through here, push down and just roll out. There we go. So it just rolls right around the frame and just hooks on, okay? So on the side, there's some that kind of tuck underneath. So it does a complete roll. That way you see all you see is fabric. When this was hooked on, you see fabric, and then you also see the clip. So this one, the clip's sewn in a different way, so it rolls over, and all you see is fabric on the side. So we got to kind of come up with through the side here. Ah. There we go. Okay. So then that rolls out like that, okay? So when you put it on, this is going to go here and then roll all the way around. A lot of people call and say we got it on backwards. It's not backwards, it just got to roll over. It's a different way the clip's on. So let's get to the other side. Same kind of thing. See if we can get in. Unroll it, okay? That's unrolled, that's undone there. We also got a bunch of clips across the back. So our back flap here, there's these 2 big, larger loops. That comes off there, that comes off there, okay? And then there's also this flap here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 spots it connects. One, 2. Okay, so now that's undone from there. All right, so now we can pull the cover off. A lot of times it's easy just to pull the whole foam and everything out. That's what actually holds. A lot of people have questions about this when you replace the foam in these. How do you replace the foam? How does that work? Well, the foam just sits down on the frame, and the seat cover, which attaches to the foam on the front face, wraps around and clips onto the frame. It just sandwiches the foam in between the middle. It's no great mystery. It's just sits on top, and the cover wraps around and clips on the bottom of the frame. That's what holds it, sandwiches it in the middle of it, and it can't go anywhere. So, okay, so here's our bottom cover. There's a strap on the underneath side here that Velcros. So this is going to undo here. Then roll your cover up on the corners. Don't yank it off yet, just start pulling the corner. Just roll these corners over and start turning the cover inside out, okay? So then we're going to look at the attachment methods, how the cover hooks to the foam. So this model actually Velcros on. So you're gonna have the Velcro that runs down these two seams from front to back. So we'll just start carefully peeling it back from front to back. I use one finger to push down on the Velcro on the bottom of the foam and then pull up on the cover instead of just yanking it straight up. Because if you pull it off, just yank it straight up, sometimes the Velcro can come off of the foam, and you don't want that. If it does happen, you can just take some spray adhesive, glue it back down, but just try to prevent that from happening. Just push down on it while you're separating it. Makes it a lot easier. Okay, so that's done there. So we'll set this aside. We'll set our foam aside too. So a lot of times you want to, before you put the new cover on, you want to address the foam. You want to definitely steam it out, taking steam to the foam, help it puff back up. So it's usually on the driver's side cover, driver's side bottom, you want to go ahead and replace the foam with a new Durafoam cushion or a foam cushion. Put a new one in there because it makes a big difference. That left edge just gets hammered from getting in and out. If you're keeping the truck, you're just fixing it up to keep it. Make sure you put a new foam in there, or at least address the foam. But putting a new foam in there is the best solution for it. But that's it for foam. We're going to put this aside. We're going to start taking the top apart. All right. So first on the top, I'm going to pull the headrest out. So this sucker will lift straight up. There's two buttons. There's a button on this side here, and there's another button that's on the inside of this tab too. So this one has a larger pronounced button you can really see, is very obvious to push. And this one, it's flush mounted in that circle on top, but there's definitely a distinct spot that pushes in, plastic part that pushes in. So you got to push on that and on this at the same time, and then lift up, okay, and that'll release. We'll set this to the side. Okay, so next thing we got to do is got to get these tubes out of the cover. This is one of the more tricky parts of this install. So I'll show you some close-up spots on what you got to push in on this part to get them to release. But there's a little catch on the inside of the frame, on the inside of this tube that sits down an inch and a half or so, 2 inches down into the frame. You got to come in through the side with a flathead screwdriver and push this catch in and pry it up. So this one I've taken out once before, so it's not as tough, but the first time pulling it out was not easy. We'll come around front. Okay, so here's the headrest pole. You want to come down in between here, okay? And there's a little catch on the inside of this frame. Hard to do at this angle. There we go. Okay. There's one. Okay, so now here you can see the catch right here. So you're having to take flathead, come in from the top, okay, and push this piece in. You can see that it moves in when you push, but it's pretty tough spring, okay? So coming down through the top, pushing this piece back that way, so this tube will lift out, okay? We'll do the same thing on this other side. There we go. Like I said, I've pulled this one apart once, so they came out a lot easier. The first time around, it was a little bit trickier to get those suckers to come out, but at least you know what the catch is, what you're looking for, and where you need to apply the pressure to, so you know you're not applying pressure to the wrong spot or something. So, got those out. Now, we're going to work on the top. We're going to flip this over here. Okay, across the back, we've got our long J-clip across the back here. Okay, these are 2 clips that just interlock together, you know, like this. Okay, so one's curled that way, one's that way, and they just lock. All right, so we're gonna come in with the flathead, separate those apart. Okay, there's that. All right, now we're gonna start to roll the cover up, but we need to unattach the front face from the foam. So these Velcro in as well, these tall vertical seams. So just come up underneath their hand and start separating that Velcro all the way up. Okay, now you want to start to turn the cover inside out. So just start rolling it up this way, like that. All right, now that cover's loose. All right, I'm gonna grab the new cover. So here's the cover. So to start, you need to turn it inside out, okay? So we're gonna just reach up underneath, grab it, pull it through. Okay, so now when you're putting the top on, you want to be standing over top of the cover, of the foam and the frame and everything, so you can roll it down. You can also see where the headrest holes are. On the cloth ones, we're starting to pre-cut a lot of the holes for the headrest pieces. So this will give you a good way to line up the cover when you're standing over top of it to roll it down. So let's move this over here. And then okay, so now we got the cover here, goes straight down over top. You look down through the covers for your holes, for your headrest holes. Okay. I'll roll one side a little bit and the other side a little bit too, okay? Now you can look down through here and see if it's aligned. You're looking at your seam that runs across the back here. Make sure it's straight and not, you know, crooked, not one side, not too far forward or whatever. Make sure those holes line up good with the headrest pieces. And then, there we go. So I'm getting about down, let's see, I'm down about, I don't know, 6-8 inches, something like that. So I'm gonna grab the back side of where the seam is, okay? I'm gonna grab just on the seam, and on the inside, I'm gonna follow the stitch line down, pushing it down into the foam to set the Velcro on to each other, okay? But I'm gonna pull down on this cover, get tension pulling down, okay? As I set it. So now I'm set there. I'm gonna do the same thing here. Grab the bottom, pull down, and then work my finger down the seam line, attaching the Velcro to the foam, okay? All right, so we're good there. Keep rolling the cover down. Okay, now this will pull back here in a second when I pull the back tight. Okay, so now, we set our Velcro at the top portion, you know, the beginning portion here. I'm also going to come up from the underneath side and continue to set it all the way down. So you can come up with your hand underneath. I'm going to recline this thing back some. Okay. All right, now I can come underneath. On the underneath side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch the seam with my left hand. So I'm pinching, you can see my fingers coming through here. I'm going to pinch that and pull. And as I pull, then I can run my other hand down, setting the Velcro, okay? The same thing over here. Okay. And I'm going to go back around. I'm going to push with my thumbs here and roll the foam towards me. So I'm really making sure it gets a good anchor there. Okay, here's that. Okay. So now we're going to get our clip done. So here's this bottom clip. This top clip is going to roll over and clip on there, okay? There is that. Now, if you're putting it on and you come into this clip part and the clips are 4 inches away from each other, that means you didn't pull and stretch this cover down as you're setting the Velcro all the way down it. So it really needs to be pulled tight. So if there's no slack at all here and it's just way too far apart and you can't get it to hook, it's because the cover's not pulled down tight enough all the way down. So pull your Velcro back up. Make sure you're pulling down the Velcro as you're setting it all the way down, and that'll give you the slack you're needing on that, okay? So set this to the side. We're going to bring the bottom back up. Okay. So we've got only two attachment strips here. So we got our 2 Velcros here. We don't have a horizontal that hooks on. The cloth ones don't have a horizontal. The leather ones do have a horizontal seam that has Velcro on it that attaches, but this one doesn't. The horizontal seam really helps you line it up forward and back, so you know how far forward or back it needs to go, because you can attach the Velcro onto the horizontal, but there's not a horizontal one on this one. So we're just going to look at our seam line, because there is an indentation in the foam right here. Okay, so this seam here, this top seam here is going to need to line up with that line there. So I'll take this, fold it back a little bit, line that seam up pretty good. You can get your left or right lined up based on these Velcros here and in the foam, Velcro in the foam. So looking about right there. I want to come through here and push down right there. Just one little spot. We'll do the same thing on this side. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that looks straight. That does look straight. So what we'll do now is we're going to set the Velcro from here to here. So I'm going to push here. I'm going to grab the underneath side Velcro strip here, and I'm going to stretch the material forward and push down to anchor, okay? Same thing over here. Starting here, I'm going to pull forward and anchor, okay? So same thing on the back. We're going to push here. I'm going to pull back, set my Velcro all the way back. There we go, same thing here. Pull and anchor, okay? So now I'm going to wrap the cover around the foam. Just push in there, wrap one corner and wrap this corner. Okay, then I'll work my way back. This falls on pretty easy there. Okay, so we got our little Velcro strap. This needs to come across here and here. These will Velcro together. Okay, so now our cover's here. We're gonna snake this thing foam back down through the frame and pull it through the back here, and then we'll start hooking our clips back on. So we'll start feeding first this little flap here. We'll start sticking it through. You can reach through on the back side with your hand to grab it and kind of start pulling it through. Now the foam goes completely over the back of the metal frame, so pushing the foam back in, make sure it completely lops over the back of the metal frame. Okay. All right, there we go. And we'll feed our top carpet piece through as well. Okay, there we go. You can also tell, to make sure you've got the foam all the way back, is on the very front lip here. If the foam is way higher than the front edge of the metal here, if it's sitting a ½ inch or an inch above it, and you can see a gap between this metal piece and the foam starting, you know you don't have the foam seated all the way back far enough into it. Okay, so, all right, now, kind of pull this out on, there we go, okay. Now we're gonna reset those plastic clips. And we got the front two. They just roll over and clip on. There's that one. Here's that one. And we got our side pieces. Now remember, these side ones roll over, okay? Let me see. Okay. You'll hear it clip, so you'll hear it click when it goes on, okay? Okay, this side. There we go. That's on. Okay. All right, next we got our headrest tubes that are going to go back in. The one with the big button on the driver's seat goes closest to the door. These would just slide straight back down into the existing hole and then push and they'll snap into place. I can't see anything, let's see. That. Okay, next one. This one has the button as well. The button also faces the door. It just doesn't have the big pronounced button like the other one does. Okay, there's that. Take our headrest. There's that. Okay, now we'll put all our plastic panels back on. start with the driver's side door. Okay, we got that. This one here. Do some of these by hand. I don't want to torque it too much. Okay. Here. The one at the very back. Tilt this up so I can see. That's it. Got our big recline lever. Okay, one, two. So the screw in this one had been pushed through, it's been like glued in, this piece here, so it didn't come out. Yours should pop off, but this one stayed in there. I'm just gonna line it back up as I put it on. Let's see. Should be on. Oh, that's the wrong spot. There it is. A whole lot easier if that screw wasn't still in there. There it goes. Okay. One more at the back. Okay. All right, one last thing you gotta do is on this seat bottom, we gotta connect the plastic clips to the frame. So these pieces here, these pull here, wrap around the hook. Then this carpet piece clips there, clips there. Here we go. All right, there you have it. Cloth install, Dodge Ram, 6 to 8 1500, 6 to 9 heavy duties. It's pretty straightforward. Not that bad at all. If you got any questions or need to place an order, give us a call at 214-710-2565. Check us out at theseatshop.com. Also check us on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks, guys.